Well, thanks to everyone for joining. As I was mentioning, as we're waiting for people to join in, this is the first time that we as a Salesforce user group here in Austin have presented virtually. So many thanks to everyone that has helped pull this together. And as a first thank you, I want to extend a huge thanks to Kate Perez, who has so graciously let us use Maravis's Zoom link to have this meeting tonight. That gives us the ability to extend the invitation to many more people, have the broader functionality that Zoom provides, and the additional security by having a protected account. So thank you to Maravis for that. Great organization, and we really, really appreciate it. I want to go through a few announcements before we kick it off for our feature presentation of the night. While we're here on this screen, which is a great welcome screen for all of you as you're joining in the meeting, if you are on social media and want to comment on the event tonight or mention the user group in any way, we do ask that you use our hashtag Salesforce ATX tag to ensure there's broad visibility. We extend the reach of our group, and we get featured presenters, as we'll see later, on topics such as Salesforce certifications or MVPs that are speaking. It just makes our group from Austin so much greater and bigger in the virtual space. So certainly use this hashtag. Make sure that we are spreading the love across social media. And with that, I'll just go through a few announcements. In our last meeting, the last live one that we held at Verbo, where we mentioned that we were looking, Zach and I specifically, were looking for someone to join our leadership group from a Salesforce user group perspective. We had several people that expressed interest in becoming leaders, and we went through many conversations with people. And tonight we get to welcome the newest Salesforce user group leader for Austin, Chris Robertson. Chris Robertson is very established in the user group community here and also in Salesforce as a whole. He's been active in the Salesforce ecosystem since 2009. He has 6 certifications, which is very relevant, given that certifications is our topic of tonight. Most recently, he has played the role of a senior Salesforce admin at Bazaar Voice, and he's moving over into a new role as a senior Salesforce business analyst at Silicon Labs. I personally want to say I've worked with Chris for many years in different aspects at Bazaar Voice, at ThinkTech Labs, and now I'm excited to work with him again here in the capacity of a user group leader. Chris's work ethic is undeniable. His passion about Salesforce is undeniable, and I know that he will bring a lot to this team. And so a huge, huge welcome to Chris Robertson, and I know the user group here in Austin will certainly benefit having him on the team, leading and organizing these events and bringing the best to us. And on that note, our next user group meeting is going to be on May 21st. It will very likely be virtual. And we're going to have Steve Moe. Steve Moe is very well known within the space of Salesforce. We've had him speak at events here in Austin. He is known not just locally and within his own space, but just around the world in terms of his experience. So it's super exciting to have him present in May. So look for that invitation that is coming. Another announcement that I wanted to I was a little bit taken aback by this, leading a Salesforce team at a very large company. The summer 20 release, which normally would have started to show up in the May timeframe, has been delayed, and there will be a push. So any of you leaders of Salesforce organizations within your company know that that is there. And we've also, as a result, pushed our release review for the user group, which typically would have been in May. We've pushed it a month to June. Stephen Frears will give that overview. We'll have a date as soon as we have more information about the release date and also the availability of the user group. We'll announce that later. As is most everything going virtual right now, so is Trailhead DX. Look out if you are interested in Trailhead DX. I know I send a lot of my developers to this particular event. It's now virtual, so be on the lookout for details coming from Salesforce on when this event will happen, how to sign up, all of those details. Same thing with Dream-In events. So the Texas Dream-In event will become a virtual Dream-In event. The date on that is May 16th and 17th. There's a dev group meetup on May 26th that will recap the Dream-In event. So if you want to have information on that, the link will be in the Trailblazer.com user group link. So certainly jump over to that if you're wanting to attend the dev group and get a recap of the Dream-In event. I think, or I'm certain that Zach answers tonight. So if you have questions throughout the event, we're going to use Slido. Slido may be familiar to some of you, may not. It's a very simple app. You can download it, join the room that is specific for tonight. You can see the link here. You can reference the link that Zach sent as part of the pre-announcements to tonight's event. But if you have a question, drop it there. There's obviously there's an option to drop questions into a chat room here through the Zoom meeting. We do ask that you push those over to Slido so that we can moderate one single line of questioning. If you haven't already downloaded it, take the time now to go ahead and download Slido, join the room for tonight's meeting, put your questions there. You can also upvote questions that may have already been asked, and that will help us ensure that we are aware of the questions that are the most popular, that we can answer the questions that are top of mind, and we will absolutely try to get through every question. Chris will be moderating this. Our new team member, Chris Robertson, who I just mentioned earlier, will be moderating the questions, so he'll be reading them out, and then our presenter will be answering them. And so just use that, if at all possible, for questions tonight. And finally, I think one of the greatest announcements for tonight is that because we are reviewing certification preparation, how to ensure that you're properly prepared, we have 5 certification vouchers to give away tonight. These range anywhere from the $200 certifications to the $400 certifications. We had many people submit for this drawing. This drawing is 100% random, and Zach will be giving these away at the end of the presentation tonight. The caveat is that you do have to be present to win. So we do want you to be sure to watch the presentation, make sure that we are attending this event, and then at the end, like I said, Zach will be choosing at random 5 people for this giveaway. Very, very big thank you to Salesforce for this. Salesforce is the reason that we are having this meeting, the reason that we're all interested in this topic. There's so many good things to say about this in many, many ways, especially from the ability to work virtual from home and give our best, regardless of where we are, where we live during this time, and also where we can create the ability to learn and learn more, upscale and our skills. And I am so excited about tonight's topic because certifications are such a big deal in this area. So Thank you, Danielle, for joining us tonight. Danielle is going to be speaking to us about how to be prepared for certifications, going through a huge overview of that. Danielle is the manager of product marketing at Salesforce, and so that was all the announcements. If you have questions, drop them in Slido. We will absolutely answer them all. And I'm going to hand it off to Danielle.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I really appreciate the intro. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Want to make sure everyone sees it. Oh, hold on just one sec. I think I need to. For some reason, I'm sorry about this. It's making me quit. It's making me quit the Zoom app really quickly. So I might, in order to, I guess because it's recording, so it might log me out for 1 second. I'm going to try not to, but I just want to make sure I'm able to share my screen.
No worries at all. Yeah, we'll jump in. I hear Zach jumping in. I thought I was off of mute. I was talking and it wasn't coming through. Absolutely no worries. I believe we are all very adept to the technology issues that can happen during a meeting. It could be one of a million issues, interruptions, and so the patience I think that we're gaining during this time is one of the biggest blessings.
Why don't we all take a group photo while we're waiting?
Ah, I love that.
Yeah, that'll give Danielle a second to get everything back, but let's all smile, go on camera, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of everyone that I can get. I can only get 20 people, so I'm gonna try and get everyone. So let me move my thing so I can get everyone really fast. Everyone smile and go on camera. 1, 2, 3. Great. Awesome. Back to you, Danielle.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure everyone can see and hear me. I'm going to share my screen right now.
Yes.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much for the introduction, Cindy. I'm really excited to be here. When Zach, Cindy, and Chris invited me, obviously I was super excited to be here tonight and share some tips and tricks on preparing for your Salesforce certification exam and everything that you should know and all of the resources we have on Trailhead to support you. And I think, as Cindy mentioned, I'll be taking questions at the end. So if I can't personally answer your questions, I work very closely with our credential developers, the people who are actually creating these certification exams. So I will do my best to ensure that somebody answers your question. So just a really quick overview of me. I'm Danielle Kerendian. As Cindy mentioned, I work at Salesforce as a credential marketing manager. I've been with Salesforce for 3 years. I actually am quite new to the role on the Trailhead team. I came from the events marketing team, but my primary job right now on Team Trailhead is to raise awareness of the incredible credentials that we have and just ensure that more and more people know in the marketplace about these credentials, that employers are continuing to recognize our credentials. So I'm very excited about that. This is a topic that I'm super passionate about. So before I dive in, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you for all of you for being here tonight. Obviously, we're going through some tough times in the world right now, and I just really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules to join me this evening. And then this is just our forward-looking statement. So just a quick reminder to please only make purchasing decisions based on what is currently available in the marketplace. I unfortunately always have to say this, but just a quick reminder on that. And then just a few goals for our session tonight. So I'm going to provide a quick overview of the general Salesforce economy as well as our credentials program. And then I'm going to share some tips and tricks on how do you get ready for your certification exam, all of the resources that we have on Trailhead to support you, whether it be, hands-on practice, interactive study tools, and then obviously a plug for the Trailblazer community, which I know you guys are all active members of, and then some tips, tricks, and best practices on how you go about passing your exam. So testing strategies and then sharing your success. What do you do after you pass that exam? So I wanted to provide a quick overview of the incredible growth that we've seen on Trailhead. So since its inception in 2015, we've had over 18 million badges earned. That number just keeps on going up. And really, that's a testament to our Trailblazers like you and the commitment that you guys have to learning and skilling up for the future. And the global impact of Salesforce is far bigger than our technology alone. This is one of my favorite slides because with our customers and partners and people like you, we're creating millions of jobs around the world. So according to the IDC, 4.2 million new jobs will be created using Salesforce by 2025. And I actually did a very quick search on LinkedIn before joining this presentation, and I found over a few hundred jobs posted in the past week that required some sort of Salesforce skill. So that's just, again, a huge testament. The economy is growing. We'll have over 10 million Trailblazers learning on Trailhead by 2022. And my favorite stat on this slide, 1 in 4 Trailhead learners were actually able to find a new job due to their learning on Trailhead. That's incredible. And not only are people skilling up for the future, but they're really proving their skills and their mastery of Salesforce products by getting certified and earning industry recognized credentials. So Superbadges are semi-new to the ecosystem. We started Superbadges in 2017, and we've already seen 400% Superbadge growth. And then certification holders are doubling every 2 years. So that's people who hold Salesforce certification. So clearly, that's just a testament to more employers continuing to recognize and search for people who are Salesforce certified and offering priority to people who are certified using our products. So when I talk about Salesforce credentials, many of you probably already know this, but wanted to give an overview. I'm talking about 2 things. So Superbadges and certifications. So Superbadges are our domain level badges. So they test your skills in very specific areas and really allow you to apply them to hands-on real-world business problems. So all of the skills that you learn on Trailhead, applying them in a Trailhead playground, so you can really take the skills and, you know, understand what the real-world application of what you're doing is. And then super sets are a series of 3 super badges to prove your expertise in a specific role and help you take the next step toward getting certified. So for example, the admin superset consists of 3 super badges. And once you complete those 3 super badges, we'd like to say you're on your way to get certified. So you should feel prepared to get certified after you complete the superset. And now certifications are our role-based credentials. So this is, again, Salesforce Certified Admin, Salesforce Certified Advanced Admin, Developer, what have you. So these are role-based credentials that help you grow your resume and prove your experience with Salesforce to get a competitive edge that may lead to a new opportunity, a promotion, a salary increase, things like that. And I wanted to specify, obviously for certifications, you need to take an exam, whereas for Superbadges, they're completed right on Trailhead. There's no exam. Maintenance is not required to complete a Superbadge, and then maintenance is required for certifications to ensure that you're staying up to date with that credential. So here's an overview of all of the different Superbadges that we offer on Trailhead. Again, these are very specific Superbadges with domain level knowledge. So you can take a Superbadge on billing, on business administration, app customization, and in the top corner, you'll see there's the admin superset, the app builder superset, developer superset. Again, these are a series of Superbadges that build upon each other to help you gear up for certification. And here's an overview of our certification tracks, and you can find this, I pasted the website there, all on Trailhead. So these are role-based learning paths. So no matter if you're, an administrator, a developer, a marketer, consultant, architect, we have really guided role-based learning paths for you to get certified. So now I'm going to talk about some of the resources that we have on Trailhead to help you really prepare for your certification exam once you know which exam you want to sit for. So first, obviously the first place to start is on Trailhead. Why? Because it's fun and it's free. So Trailhead, I'm sure all of you are aware, it's free learning at your own pace. And the thing that I like about it is we all lead very busy lives. It gives you the opportunity to pick up exactly where you left off. And obviously it's all online and it's accessible on the go. So I don't know how many of you know this, but we just introduced our Trailhead Go app for iOS, hopefully for Android soon. So you can complete, you know, once we're able to go back to work and commute and things like that, you can access Trailhead right on your phone or your mobile device and complete badges there and you know, earn and kind of continue your learning journey. And again, on Trailhead, you'll find guided role-based learning paths. So all of the work is done for you. It really takes you through a curated role-based path for your learning, so you're not left guessing. So here's an overview of all of the resources that we have on Trailhead to support you, and I'll go into a little bit of more detail in a bit, but every single exam has an exam overview, an exam guide, as well as the curated trail mixes that I was talking about to help guide you in your learning journey, interactive study tools on Trailhead, as well as expert-led courses if you want to take the next step and get some face-to-face interaction and information from expert instructors. That's also an option. A lot of our certifications align to our expert-led courses. So the exam guide is probably one of the most important resources when you're gearing up for your certification exam because it contains critical information to help you prepare for your exam. So it provides an overview of the exam, an audience description, so who's the ideal candidate, how many years of experience or months of experience should you have before you sit for your specific exam. It also contains information specific to the exam, like what the prerequisites are. A lot of our exams build upon each other, so it's important that you earn those prereqs before you sit for a more advanced exam. It contains a number of questions, the time that you'll be given to complete the exam, what the minimum passing score is, as well as the delivery option. Obviously, our exams right now can only be completed online because many of the testing centers are closed due to COVID-19. And then the exam guide also includes the fees associated to take the exam. And then the recommended trainings and references portion has all of your self-study materials, so all of your trail mixes and trails to take, as well as the corresponding expert-led courses that are offered. And then the exam outline contains all of the topics covered on the exam, as well as the weight that each topic holds. So you'll see here is the exam outline for the Salesforce Certified Admin exam. This is probably the most important part of the exam guide. You'll see that it lists out every single topic that you'll see on your exam. So the exam guide is created by, the exam outline is created by a credential developer who actually developed the exam. So you should follow this, and it gives you, you know, every single topic that will be present on the exam, as well as the weight that they hold. So for example, for the Salesforce Certified Admin exam, you're going to want to spend the bulk of your studying on security and access, which is 13% of the exam. Standard and custom objects, 14%. Sales and marketing applications, 14%. And you're going to want to spend a little bit less time on things like organizational setup or activity management and collaboration. And once you click into the exam outline, you'll actually see it'll give you descriptions of what exactly you need to know about that topic. And then we also have our Cert Prep Trailmix. So this is, again, these are curated learning paths to review an overview of all of the topics covered on the exam. And each topic links to a Trailhead module, as well as, you know, relevant projects that you can complete to test your knowledge, and then Superbadges as well to apply your learning and to really ensure that you're ready to not only pass your certification exam, but go out into the marketplace and apply these skills in your day-to-day job. So your Cert Prep Trailmix is probably around, you know, 40 to 60 hours of work. It includes everything that you'll need to study for on the exam. And then this a pretty new resource for us. It's our Cert Prep Trail. So our goal is to create a Cert Prep Trail for every single Cert exam offered, but this contains interactive study tools to help you get exam ready. So once you complete the 40 to 60 hour trail mix, I would recommend moving on to the Cert Prep Trail. And this includes things like downloadable flashcards and other downloadable materials, practice exam questions, so you can get a feel for what will be on the exam. And so we're constantly adding new Cert Prep trails. We just created one for admin, platform app builder, platform dev. And again, this is completely free. You can download all of these materials. You can print them out if you want to. And we actually did a survey of about 2,000 Trailblazers, and 95% of people said that this Cert Prep Show was helpful in them passing the exam. So again, it's just an extra resource once you've completed the Trailmix to practice exam questions and help you study on your way before becoming certified. And then we also offer free certification days. So these are one-day virtual webinars actually led by our expert instructors, completely free to you, and they're designed to help you prepare for your Cert exam. So you'll notice on the right-hand side, we have a ton of different sessions for admin, so preparing for your admin certification exam, offered in Spanish and other languages as well. We are constantly adding more of these sessions, so I would recommend checking back on our website, especially due to COVID-19. This is something that we're really focusing on, as we know that the world has gone mainly virtual. So this is just a great way to learn from expert instructors. And the great thing about this too is in April and May, we're offering an incredible bonus. So all webinar attendees will receive a coupon code for $100 off any $200 exam. That's 50% off. That's the biggest discount we've ever offered. So I would definitely check out, even if you've gone through the Trailmix, you feel prepared, it doesn't hurt to sit for one of these one-day webinars led by an expert instructor, and it's completely free to you again. And then Trailhead Live was a new resource that we actually created at the end of last year, and it houses live and on-demand videos, again, from expert instructors. So these are the people who teach paid classes for us. And so I would definitely recommend to supplement your learning. Just check out the videos and you can filter by role. So for example, if you're studying for your admin exam or your dev exam, you can filter by role. And let's say, you want to brush up on reports and dashboards. There's an admin's best practices reports and dashboards 35-minute clip taught by one of our expert instructors. And again, there's a search bar. So if you're getting stuck on a particular topic, you can type it into the search bar and potentially watch a video from an expert-led instructor. It's a great way to supplement all of the learning that you'll be doing on Trailhead. And I know people learn in very different ways. Some people are more visual, some people are more, they need to actually learn from somebody sitting down teaching them. So this is just a great way to watch a video and to learn, face to face from an instructor. And then, so once you've completed your, trail mixes, you've downloaded the study guides and all the other downloadable materials, you've watched a few videos, we highly recommend you actually get the hands-on real-world experience in the Trailhead playground by conquering the relevant super badges related to the certification you want. So you'll see here, you're studying for your admin certification. The admin superset consists of 3 super badges: lightning experience, reports and dashboard specialist, business admin specialist, and security specialist. Complete these super badges prior to getting certified. They give you really good, a very good gauge to see if you're not only ready to get certified, but if you're actually ready to take these skills into the marketplace, into your real world job. And so here's just an overview of the alignment of our certifications and super badges. So you'll see on the left-hand side, our certifications and how they match up to super badges. So for example, the admin cert contains or matches up to 3 super badges. Advanced admin, there are 5 super badges. So again, just giving you some good real world practice before you start gearing up to take your certification exam. And if this is helpful, I can always share this deck afterwards in case you want to, see which certification matches up with specific super badges. But again, all of this information is on our website on Trailhead. And then a lot of people don't know about this resource. I think it's particularly helpful if you want to get a feel for exam day and what that might look like. We have an admin practice test. It's 60 multiple choice questions. You get 90 minutes to complete it. It's completely unproctored and delivered online, so you can take it at your convenience. It's $20. And the best part about it, I think, is that it gives you section level feedback that you actually get after you take your certification exam. And it will tell you exactly what questions you got right and wrong, and matching it back to the exam guide. So you can go back and study up on what you didn't necessarily perform well on. And retakes are unlimited. And I included some registration details on the right. You just log into Web Assessor, and I'll go over that process in a little bit. You click register for a new exam. You expand the certified practice test section, and then you locate the Salesforce admin certification practice test, and you register for it. It's very, very helpful just to give you a sense of the types of questions asked. Again, this was developed by the people who actually created the admin certification exam. So again, it gives you a feel for the questions that you're going to be asked. And then of course, join the Trailblazer community, find a community group like this. Obviously, I don't need to tell you guys, you know, join a meeting. It's a great place to connect to mentors and study partners. One thing that I found so unique to Salesforce is that everyone's just very willing to help. I recently went to a San Francisco user group meetup as well as in Oakland, and everyone is just so open to helping each other. You can find somebody whose journey you want to follow, somebody who might be willing to study with you or mentor you. Another great thing about the community as well, there are so many different certification community groups online, and it's particularly helpful, you know, if you're experiencing issues and you're not sure how to complete a super badge, or you're getting stuck on, you know, a concept, you can type in to one of the community groups and ask questions, and people will always be willing to help you. And then also, you know, at Salesforce, we are monitoring these groups, or in these groups, if you have a particular question, ask in there, and chances are somebody will be able to point you in the right direction. Now I'm going to go over some tips for registering for and taking your certification exam. So you'll be registering for your exam directly on webassessor.com/Salesforce. Webassessor is our testing delivery partner. You're going to create a new account. It's very easy, and I want to stress to use your personal email address. We get a lot of cases and questions about this. The reason I say use your personal email is because it follows you wherever you go. You know, you don't want to use your work email. You don't know where you're going to end up. And so it's just easiest and best to use your personal email address. And then you can schedule your exam based on your location, date, and time preferences, and just keep track of that authorization code. It's a very simple process. And I will say too, obviously with COVID-19, a lot of our testing centers are closed currently. There is an option to complete your certification exam online, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But that is always an option for you. We're experiencing a bit of delays with online proctors. We're trying to gear up as many online proctors as possible. But since there are so many people who want to take their certification exams online, so I guess that's a good problem to have, there will be a little bit of a wait for you, but that's another just reason to use the community, because I'm constantly posting in there when spots open up to take your certification exam. So just know that if you're experiencing any frustration registering for your exam, we're working on it, and we're trying to gear up as many online proctors as possible to get as many people certified. So in terms of the actual exam format, so every single exam is multiple choice or multi-select, and it'll indicate how many to select. So a lot of people are relieved. There's no open-ended, there's no short answer, anything like that, and every single exam is time-based. So you'll get between 90 and 120 minutes depending on the exam. And then here are just a few exam day tips and tricks. So if you're taking your exam at a testing center, you will actually be given 3 pieces of blank scratch paper for notes, and they will be collected at the end of the exam. So just know that, but that's a great place to take notes and brain dump before you take your exam. Unfortunately, with online proctored exams, we get this question a lot. You cannot use any scratch paper just because, you know, cheating is definitely, you know, something that we're concerned about, and we want to maintain the integrity of all of our exams. So you won't get scratch paper on taking online proctored exams, but you will in person. There's also an opportunity to mark questions for review and revisit them again before you submit your exam. So if you're running out of time, it's just really important to mark, you know, any questions. If you're making guesses or educated guesses, then you can quickly come back and review them at the end before the time's up. And then if you're at an exam testing center, Don't focus on the people around you. They're often taking different exams of different lengths, probably not even related to Salesforce. So definitely don't focus on them, just focus on your exam. And then proctors monitor the room, but they can't answer any questions about the exam content. And to be honest, you probably wouldn't want them to anyway, because they don't know as much as you do about taking, your certification exam in the specific topic at hand. So that's just a friendly reminder. You can't ask proctors anything. And unfortunately, there are no breaks. So you'll be sitting there from between 90 and 120 minutes. So use the restroom beforehand, make sure you fuel up beforehand, because once you are in that room and taking the test, you can't leave and then come back. And then I wanted to provide a quick note. We've had some updates to our certification program due to COVID-19, and I want to make sure for anyone who's certified already that they see these really important updates. So first, for those of you who don't know, if you have a Salesforce certification exam, you have to maintain your certification 3 times a year. And that's just going along with the release cycle and to ensure that everyone has the latest and greatest using our products. And so the April 10th maintenance deadline was actually removed because of COVID-19. We recognize that, maintaining your certs isn't probably top of mind right now. So if you completed your maintenance already, great. If you haven't, there is no further action needed. If you want to brush up on your skills, the Trailhead maintenance modules are still available to you. You should have received an email. If you haven't, please reach out to me after to make sure that you're on the list to receive all updates about certifications, because we do have some important updates coming up as well, and I'll touch upon that in a bit. But as you know, too, the majority of testing centers are closed right now due to COVID-19. So we've been getting a lot of questions. What if I had an upcoming exam? How do I reschedule? So you can reschedule your testing center exam to an online proctored exam in very easy steps. You can find that information online, but essentially you have to cancel your testing center exam and re-register for an online proctored exam. And I want to stress that we also have new online proctored requirements. So if you were to take a certification exam prior to COVID-19 online, you would need not only an internal camera, but an external camera as well, so a webcam. But due to COVID-19, we've relaxed that requirement. So now you only need an internal camera if you're completing your exam online. So that's just something to know. And all of our online proctoring requirements are on Trailhead Help. There's a knowledge article about it, and I can share that afterwards as well. But for more information, you can check out, we have an awesome FAQ for COVID-19 in the Salesforce Cert program. So be sure to check that out just to make sure that you're up to date on the latest and greatest around certification changes due to COVID-19. And then I want to share finally 6 important test taking tips and tricks with you. So first, the timer doesn't start until you click start. So a lot of people don't know this. Whether you're in an exam testing center or you're taking an exam online, you have a minute or a few minutes to sit, gather your thoughts. The exam only starts when you click start and the timer starts. So take a minute, take a breather, relax before you dive into the exam. And then a lot of people create, acronyms or diagrams or mnemonic devices. I found a ton of those in the Trailblazer community, and you can ask people too how they remember certain concepts or if they have any study tips and tricks before taking specific exams, and you'll be surprised at what people say and what people share. So write those down on your scratch paper. A lot of people do what's called a brain dump. They get into the exam before they actually click start. They use the scratch paper and they write down everything they think they're going to forget before the exam starts, and then they click the start button and they start the exam. So that there's an opportunity to do that, of course, if you're taking the exam at a testing center, but not if you're taking the exam online. And then don't keep track of the order of the answers. So the order of the answers will always be randomized every time you navigate to a question. So don't, remember number 3 is B, number 4 is C. Just keep track of the actual answer. That's something to note because it's always randomized due to maintaining the integrity of the exam, making sure, cheating is not an option. And then again, there is a mark for review checkbox, whether you're taking an exam at a testing center or online. So this is a great place for you to keep track of guesses and educated guesses. You can also use your scratch paper if you're taking an exam at a testing center, but this is a really, really cool feature that people find very helpful when, especially if you're cramped for time. And then I hope this goes without saying, but just understand your test taking style. Some people do better when they follow their gut, and others need to really thoroughly review their answers. And I think this is where the practice exams come into play. You know, try out your test taking style and understand how you best test, and take that take that into the exam when you're actually taking the official exam. And then finally, failure isn't the end of your journey. I want to stress this enough. You know, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Many people, you know, people who have 15, 16, 17 certifications have failed their, you know, admin exam, for example, the first time. There's always an opportunity to retake the exam, to get a study buddy, to continue to study up on the topics that you weren't sure about. Just because you fail once doesn't mean anything. Plenty of people do it, even people internally at Salesforce, so it's not the end of your journey. And then finally, just some tips on completing your exam. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna select the submit button, and that ends the time, that ends your exam. You're going to get your results immediately once you click submit, so you'll know exactly if you passed or failed, and you'll get section level feedback as well, directly on your screen as well as emailed to you. You're going to raise your hand if you're at a testing center. The proctor is going to collect the test, the 3 sheets of scratch paper, and then you're going to exit the testing center quietly. And as it says, section level feedback is your best friend here. This is super, super helpful. Whether you pass the exam or not, this breaks down all of the topics that I showed you in the exam guide and the percentage of questions related to that topic that you got correct. So for example, this person failed their Salesforce Certified Admin exam, and they should know that they need to go back and study activity management, chatter, you know, desktop and mobile administration, and app exchange, because these were where they kind of fell short, and the percentage of questions correct were under 50%. So again, it just helps you identify areas of improvement so you can study up for the retake. And what a lot of people do is they take this feedback and they map it back directly to the exam guide so they know exactly what to study. And then finally, assuming that you pass, because you will, you know, if not the first time, then definitely the second or third, what do you do? So a lot of people pass and then that's it, but there's a lot more that you can do to really elevate awareness around getting certified. So we like to say, spread the word. You will be getting in via email your certified logo. So update your digital profiles, add this logo to your business card, your digital signature, take this to your employer. Join your local Trailblazer community group. You can also become a subject matter expert for the Trailhead credentialing team. So these are people who are actually creating certification exams. You can become a SME for us. We're always looking for people to help as we constantly refresh our exam questions. It's also a great opportunity as we continue to create more certification exams. We do a lot of beta testing, and if you are a beta participant, so you're helping us test the questions for an exam before we release it to the public. If you pass that exam and you help us, you get that certification for free. So there's always an opportunity to become a subject matter expert for the Trailhead credentialing team. We're always looking for people to help. And then of course, mentor a colleague, get involved in the community, find a study buddy, and then stay relevant. So we want you to continue learning. You know, just because you have one certification, there's so many opportunities to continue your learning, get the next certification. And then I have to stress too, maintain your certifications. There's nothing worse than studying so hard, months and months for a certification exam, and then not being able to maintain, because your credential will expire if you don't maintain. So just a quick reminder, your Trailhead and your web assessor accounts must be linked in order to maintain your cert. And you can view all of your maintenance requirements on your trailblazer.me profile. This is quite a new feature and it's really awesome. And I will say, I just want to provide a little bit of a sneak peek for those of you who are already certified. As I mentioned earlier, our process for certification maintenance was 3 times a year. And this information actually leaked out last week, but we are making the announcement this week. So I want you all to be the first to know. We are streamlining the certification maintenance process. So now you'll only be required to maintain your certification once a year versus 3 times a year, which is awesome, especially for those of you who have, 15, 16 certifications. But there's still an opportunity for you to take the optional Trailhead modules to make sure that your skills are sharp all year round. So we'll be making that announcement later this week, but certification maintenance is moving to an annual process, which we're super excited about. And then here are just 4 simple steps to remember before I dive into our questions. So again, check out the Trailhead website, review all of the different certification tracks. I feel like I'm constantly asked, you know, which path should I follow? And I think it really is just up to you and what your interests are. I can't tell you which certification exam to sit for. I would say review the relevant job description, or review any job descriptions on LinkedIn or other job platforms and see what inspires you, what appeals to you, and then you can map it back to the different certification tracks. And review our credential website. Once you've decided to sit for your specific certification exam, review the exam overview, review the exam guide, and then really start to study and prepare. So take the official Trailmix that corresponds to the cert exam you're taking, review the cert prep trail, tune into a free certification days, tune into Trailhead Live and get that really snackable video content from our expert instructors, as well as completing all of the relevant super badges relating to your certification before you sit for your exam. And then join the Trailblazer community. This is a place for you to ask questions, find a mentor, collaborate with study partners, and then finally get certified. So take your exam, celebrate your success, and make sure to maintain your certification so that they don't expire. And that is all I have today. Again, thank you guys so much for having me, and I'd like to open the floor up to any questions you have. I'll do my best to answer them. I will say I'm not an expert on every single certification we have. I work very closely with our exam developers though, so I will answer any questions that you have, or I'll find the right person to answer any questions you have specific to 1 or 2 of our exams, but hopefully I'll do a good job of answering your questions, and thanks for having me.
Awesome, Danielle. Well, thank you. And on behalf of the entire group, thank you. That was amazing. I know I will definitely be using some of those tips when I take the sharing and visibility cert next month. So thank you very much. That was awesome. Thank you. Real quick, before we jump into questions, just 2 things that we missed at the beginning. First is that PepUp Tech is offering immediate acceptance to anyone who has lost their job due to COVID-19. So reach out to those guys if you need some help there. And secondly, we may have misspoke at the beginning when we said that Texas Dreamin' was happening in May. Texas Dreamin' has in fact been canceled, and I think we were talking about virtual dreaming there. Now on to the questions. Will the slide deck be made available afterwards? I believe the answer to that is yes. We'll put it in our community. And then the second part of that is, can you provide a link to the free certification webinar days?
That's a great question. I will definitely share that link with you guys so you can send it out afterwards.
Okay, perfect. Next question. I've taken the Salesforce practice exam. I passed barely, and I scored particularly low in workflow automation and security. How can I study these topics?
So that is a great question. I would say that, one, I think it's awesome that you took the practice exam, because again, it gives you that section level feedback to study up on. So what I would do is I would again map back to the exam guide, look for that particular topic in the exam guide, expand it, and it'll give you descriptions of exactly what you need to know. And then I would actually type that topic into Trailhead, see what pops up. So not only can you take our official Trailmix, but there is a ton of content that other people have created on Trailhead. So I would just say, take every single trail or unit or lesson related to that specific topic, and then also search for it in Trailhead Live. Ask the community too. I think there is a number of different ways you can go about it, but I would definitely say just search that specific topic right within Trailhead, see what you find, ask the community, and watch videos, and hopefully join a cert days too, where you can ask about that specific topic.
Awesome, thank you. Next question, are there any Marketing Cloud super badges or plans to make Marketing Cloud available on Trailhead?
So that's a great question. So yeah, obviously there isn't a Marketing Cloud super badge just yet. The team is working really, really hard. Obviously there's been huge demand around our Marketing Cloud certs. So I would say continue to check back as we make more resources available, but it's definitely something that's on our radar.
Perfect. Next is, once you get your certification, how do you stay on top of the skills that you have learned to showcase potential employers?
So this is where certification maintenance comes in, since our products are constantly changing, which is why we have 3 releases a year. So we're constantly releasing new features, new products, things like that. So I would say continue to stay on top of your certification maintenance. As maintenance is moving to an annual process, you won't be required to complete these modules every 3 times a year, but they will still be available to you. And that really ensures that you're up to date on the latest and greatest using our products. I would also say we have released highlights, trails that you can take and badges that you can earn. This is separate from the certification program, but it's really helpful. Let's say, you're an admin, take the released highlights trails that are released 3 times a year, and they really specifically point out what's changed with our products and how your use of our products can change. So I think that's a really good way to stay up to date on the latest and greatest.
Awesome. Next question from someone taking an exam next week. I am taking my admin exam on Sunday. What am I allowed to have in the same room with me? Example, there's a TV in my office. Does that need to be removed?
So that is a great question. I don't believe that a TV does need to be removed. I think obviously it needs to be off, and your webcam needs to provide a view of your workspace. But we have a help article on Trailhead, and I can also paste that as well. I'll find it after this and paste it into some of the resources. But there's an article that explicitly outlines what is and isn't allowed for online proctoring. So I would definitely check that out before you take your exam, but I think a TV in the room is totally fine.
Okay, awesome. Just checking the time, and we have like 5 minutes. And we probably have more than 5 minutes worth of questions. So let me just pick a couple more here. Where can we find exam outlines for various certifications?
So the exam outline is, if you go to the certification page on the Trailhead website and click on the specific certification that you're interested in, the first link that will pop up is the exam guide. And so within the exam guide, there's a section called exam outline, and that gives you all of the topics as well as the weight. So the exam outline will be within the exam guide, if that makes sense, but all of it's on Trailhead online.
Okay, awesome.
Chris,
yes.
before we get into more questions, and we can certainly answer more if people are willing to wait, but I do want to respect people's time between the 6 and 7 p.m. Central Time block and make sure we give out the 5 vouchers to people. And then we can pick up questions afterwards. I just know I want to respect, because I know there may be people that are waiting. And then Danielle, I will also ask if there are questions that go beyond tonight and we can't get to them, that we can work with you to answer those questions and then distribute the answers to the group via, a virtual mechanism of some regard. So but I do want to make sure we don't press it to the very last minute to get to the certification voucher giveaways.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions afterwards as well.
Okay.
I'm so excited to give away the certifications. I'm going to jump right in now. So in order to be eligible for this, you had to have filled out the little survey I sent out a few weeks ago by yesterday. So that way I would have the list and everything before this meeting. But as the meeting was going on, I pulled up the random number generator off of Google. When you search random number generator, Google pops up with one. And I've just been going through the CSV file and making sure they're here at the meeting and they filled out the Get Feedback survey completely. And one final thing before I start, The reason why we're able to get these certifications, so these certifications, they're up to $2,000 in value. That's a lot of money Salesforce is giving to us. It's because you're showing up, you're coming to these events, and you're telling everyone about this. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come to these events. It really means a lot. I'm gonna ask if I call your name to come on webcam and just quickly, or if you can't go on webcam, come on mic and quickly tell us what certification you're gonna take with this. So first up, Jill Matthias.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm eating dinner, so I'm going to choose not to come on webcam, but thank you so much. I'm planning on taking the Salesforce CPQ admin.
Ooh, thank you, Jill.
That's great.
Thank you.
Next up, Michael Heichel.
I'm here. I swear I'm here. I can't, I'm on my phone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we see you and we hear you.
Okay, perfect. My phone is not giving me audio, so I have to do it on my girlfriend's.
Yep. Yes, so exciting. Thank you.
And I'm doing the ADM 201, so it's gonna be my first badge.
Yay. Okay, next up, I have Robert Wieland, excuse me.
Step up, Robert.
Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to get off mute there. I'm actually trying to go after a couple of certifications, advanced admin and platform app builder and developer. And I kind of, as I was looking into and exploring them and exploring all the different paths, kind of like you recommended, I saw a lot of overlap between those. And so I'm actually working on my calendar now, putting all of the Trailhead and the different badges and different things around the certification days webinars, and just trying to make a schedule to kind of a roadmap of how to get there.
Great, thank
this
you,
will
Robert.
help. Thank you so much.
Yeah, next up I have Anil Gupta.
Yeah, I'm right here. Thank you so very much. Get to know. So I'm taking the integration architect of certification. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Congratulations.
And then
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
the last certification I have is for Chandana Bisu. Chandana on the call? I think I saw Chandana.
Let's see. We might need to pull a wild card if she's or he. I'm not familiar with the name. If they're not here.
Going through the list. If I have to do too many numbers, we're gonna have to come up with another way. Let's see. Let's try this one. I'm going through it fast.
I just went through all of the live attendees. I don't see the name.
Let's see, is that one here? This is what happens when you leave early. Okay, hold on. I have to like count 14, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's see. I've gone through like 4 people at this point and still like not giving me.
Can you just call the name one more time and then maybe go to the next number?
Yeah, I'll start doing that. So let me call the name that I left off on. It was, I got lost. I'm just gonna start with, I didn't ask for names. I asked for like the LinkedIn URL. So I'm like reading the concatenation.
Okay.
Cooper Pond. No Cooper Pond. Next up on the list, Shalina Martin. No. Sunil Sanaka. No. John Forrester.
I am here. Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
I was starting to panic. I was like, where is everyone?
Where is everybody?
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever won a voucher certification, so that's exciting. Most likely going to go with Community Cloud, as it goes well with my Education Cloud and Nonprofit Cloud certifications.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I'm going to send each of you an email. There's a whole process we're going to have to follow. We're going to get through it together, but stay tuned for that email from me. And back to Chris.
And, well, first of all, I do want to make sure that we all are aware that these certifications have an expiration date of August 31st.
Yes.
Was that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So just make sure that there's a time limit on the certifications. These are wonderful, wonderful offerings from Salesforce, and we trust that the people that get them are going to deliver. And if you see that you're not, raise your hand. That's totally fine. Things come up. I've had things come up in my life where I'm like, I can't commit to that. If that happens, pass it forward. It will come back to you. Undoubtedly, it will come back to you, but pass it forward if you're not able to commit to this. So just make sure, you know, this August will be here before we know it. So we love everybody that won tonight. I want to make sure that we capitalize on this wonderful initiative.
I will say too, just really quickly, and I shouldn't be publicizing this, but I think you guys are a very great and unique group. Obviously, due to COVID-19, we do make exceptions. We understand it's a difficult time for everyone right now. So if you won one of the certification vouchers and you do want to sit for an exam, but you can't make the August timeframe, but you can commit to maybe a few months out afterwards, reach out to Trailhead Help. We do make exceptions, and we realize, you know, if you're really committing to taking an exam and it's just like not the right timing for you right now because of everything, we will make an exception for you. So definitely reach out and provide your cert voucher number, and you'll be granted a bit of an exception, some leeway there. So.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Danielle, for mentioning that. Chris, back to you.
Well, one follow-up question related to that. So Danielle, you may know the answer to this. The August deadline, is that for registering for the certification or actually taking the exam?
I actually believe too, that's for registering. So you can register for an exam up to 6 months out. So you just need to register by August 31st or August 1st, whatever the date is.
Awesome. Okay, so what if we take like 2 or 3 more questions, and then because it is already 6 minutes after the hour, and then we can follow up on the rest of them in our community. Does that sound good?
Great, that sounds good.
Okay, awesome. So Danielle, you kind of touched on this, but maybe just reiterate, what do you recommend if I fail an exam?
Yeah, so if you fail an exam first, don't worry about it. It happens to a lot of people, especially, you know, even those with 16 certifications or more. So don't panic. Use the section level feedback. That is your best friend. Again, map that back to exactly where the topic is on the exam guide, see how much it's weighted, and then literally search that topic in Trailhead or in the exam guide in the Trailmix, and freshen up on that topic. You can paste that same topic in Trailhead Live. You can ask about it in the community if you're getting stuck on something in particular, but I would say that exam guide is your best friend. And so just map it back to the Trailmix that's specific to that section that you missed. But use the section level feedback to your advantage. There's no point in studying up on something that you already have mastered.
Awesome, thank you. And speaking from experience, I think it took me 3 times to pass the Service Cloud Consultant exam, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And speaking of the feedback section, will you receive a copy of the feedback after taking the exam?
That's a great question. So yes, you will. You will get a copy of that in your email, so you don't need to memorize or sit there online or in an exam testing center. You will get a copy of that. You can print it out, you can sleep next to it, you can study it, do whatever you need to do. You will get a copy.
Awesome. Okay, last question, and it's just sort of a point of clarification. Someone asked, what is an internal camera for the online exam?
So an internal camera is a camera that is currently what I'm using right now. I'm using a laptop, so it's a built-in camera. So you don't need an external little webcam that a lot of people have on the top of their desktop or laptop computers. It's just a built-in camera to your computer. So hopefully everyone has that because that is a requirement, but you don't need any external hardware.
Okay, awesome. So we'll take care of the rest of the questions afterwards. Danielle, again, thank you so much. That was, I mean, it was hugely beneficial for me, and I know it was for everyone else as well. So Cindy, Zach, do you guys have anything to wrap up with?
Go ahead, Zach.
I was waiting to see if you would talk. We had that little awkward silence there. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Maravis for again letting us use Zoom. The free version of Zoom, if we had used that, would have kicked us off as soon as we hit that like 60-minute mark. I think actually 45. Yeah. So definitely go and check them out. Thank them on social media. Thanks again.
Yes. Huge thank you to Maravis. Also, a big shout out to Pep Up Tech. If you know anyone who is interested in a Salesforce career, regardless of backgrounds, have them check out Pep Up Tech, because Pep Up Tech has opened their doors to people who have lost jobs due to COVID. Salesforce is a big space. We have room for so many people. We have so much to give from a community standpoint, from a just general lifestyle standpoint, from an educational standpoint. So if you know people, or if you are someone who has lost your job, reach out to Pep Up Tech. They are accepting any applicants that have lost their job to COVID. So that's a huge lifesaver for so many people. Also, thank you, Danielle, for presenting tonight. This was wonderful. Super wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, because I know, well, I don't know, but I would imagine that presenting for that long without any feedback is difficult. But I really appreciate your time and attention to this subject, because so many people in our community are wanting certifications. And the only last thing I will say is welcome, Chris. It is a pleasure to have you on the team. And Zach and I really appreciate you and all that you have already given and will give to the preparation for these meetings.
Well, thank you so much. It was an honor to have been selected. Thank you.
And to all the winners of the vouchers, I wish you all the best in your studies and your passing of these certifications. It will just make this community so much stronger. So thank you all. The recording will be posted for the people who missed tonight's live event, and it's been a great pleasure. So thank you. Good night.